40 something, we'll do it then. There is no guarantee that you live up to that age. So when it comes to goals that are associated with your end goal, whatever I said, I call them the sub goals, right? That all contribute to your final goal. You cannot delay it. If you are able to, if you're eligible to do it, if you're able to do it now, you better start doing it now. You cannot postpone. If it has to be, if you're running out of time and you had two things, you had to do an assignment submission within 5 p.m. or your asr runs out by 5 p.m. Which one would you do? So when you have a conflict of interest, you always have to know which one is the bigger goal. Yes, true that you could have done things differently, but the past is past. You probably could have done the assignment before. You probably could have finished things before so you could pray on time. But if you are ever facing with this type of situation where you had to choose between something that contributes to your end goal over something that contributes to the dunya, always remember, if you're committed to your end goal, you'll always pick that one over the dunya. And that is the part where commitment comes into play. And I'll go with this with the last point. I think you're running a little over.
No, you have time.
Yeah? Okay, no problem. That connects to the first point that I said, that the title of our talk today is Staying Connected, which is continuity, right? And to help us in this continuity, Prophet ﷺ has given us advices, has given us tips that help us. And Allah has given us means that gives. And one of those means is the continuous remembrance of God Himself, of Allah. So how do we remember Allah continuously? And these are small, very tiny, minute things that we can do, we can incorporate in our own lives that will help us. In the beginning you might find it difficult to incorporate it, but once you're done, once you have practiced it for a few months, few years, you wouldn't even forget about it. You will, it won't feel like you're doing an extra thing. A few of them are like zikrs and du'as. These are very basic stuff. If you say your dua when you get up from morning every day, it takes you 30 seconds, 20 seconds to say it. At first it's difficult because you need to remind yourself to say it. You forget. You do it. Once you remember, you start your day with the name of Allah. You end your day with the name of Allah. Every single thing that you do has a dua. Every single time that you are sitting or traveling in a public transport, let's say, you have an opportunity to do some zikr. Whether you recite the Quran, whether you do some tasbih, any type of zikr that you do, no matter how small it is, this is a means for your continuous remembrance of God. And this aligns to that end goal where you try to remain on the goal continuously. So these are some of the points that I thought about. Obviously this is not everything, you could do way more, but this is something that helps you structure your steps, or let's say planning, part of the planning process, where you plan that you have an end goal and how you will achieve it. These all factors go into that planning process. And you and I, both of us, this is a reminder for myself foremost, and then to everyone, that this is our responsibility to do that planning. Like, you can sit in a halaqa, somebody can tell you what all the steps are, and it won't help you if you don't implement it in your own life. So the key part here is you implementing some of it in your life, whether it's one step, two step, and life always goes with baby steps, right? You cannot turn your life 180 degree around on one fine morning. You start little by little. And this is where one of the scholars said really nicely, and this is in terms of people who are struggling to pray. He said that if you don't pray, like if you can't bring yourself to pray, wherever, try to pray once a day at least. Stick to it. And if you pray once, try to pray twice. And eventually try to pray 5 times. And if you pray 5 times a day, then try to pray on time. That's the next goal, right? So it's prayer, it could be just one step in the goal, but that step can be broken down into a lot of baby steps where you perfect it. So everything that you set for yourself, always set an achievable goal. Otherwise, again, going back to some of the points our brother said earlier, that you cannot track it. If you set yourself a really big goal that you cannot achieve or you cannot track your progress, you lose track of that goal or that step that you set for yourself. And I wanted to end by saying, end of this goal, always there's a success factor, right? Like you have a goal, you have the plan in place, the steps that you will commit to reach that goal. How do you know that you are on the right path or you're on a successful path, let's say? And this is a question that people say you can ask yourself to evaluate yourself. If you died right now, right this moment, are you going to be ready to meet with your Lord or not? And that's how you answer. And if at one point in your life you feel like you are ready, yes, you can, and you have achieved it. You have achieved it. And again, just because you have achieved it doesn't mean you stay on it. There's always with everything, like if you have a gym schedule, you'll have bad days. You probably miss them. And same thing with religion. You have good days and bad days. So just because you achieved it doesn't mean that's it. You stop. You have to maintain it. So with success here, they say that the true believers are so excited they cannot wait to go meet the Lord, right? Because they know they're ready. They know they're doing their best and they are trying to do everything that they can. And this is where a test for yourself comes into play, is you can test yourself. Are you ready? If you are not, you know that you have a lot of steps going up forward and you have to work on those. And this is, commitment is the key part in here where you stick to your steps to achieve this goal. I just wanted to end by giving a few extras that I wrote here that would help us on this path, which is Ramadan is coming up in 2 months. So that's one of the greatest time of the year for us. All the Muslims look forward to it. And that's where you come with doing zikr, reciting Quran. And if you say, just because you recite Quran, even Quran is in Arabic, even though it's in Arabic, not everything in Quran is understood by most Arabs. Let's say, for example, if you ask any of your Arab friends, and I'm assuming you're Arab from what you're saying. Yeah. Let's say if you asked anybody, like in general, if you went around and asked your friends, let's say, what's وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا? Most of them would be like, wait, I don't know what that means. Even though we don't know the meaning, because just because you know Arabic doesn't mean, even Arabs don't know what most of some parts of the Quran mean. So the point is that you read tafsir, you understand what you're reading, and you can start with that. And that might be a big goal if you don't normally do it. So since Ramadan is in 2 months, you should start preparing for it ahead to take those baby steps, right? Like let's say you read 5 minutes of Quran every day, just so you can do much more when Ramadan actually starts. And a few other things that I noticed is that these days among youth especially, people who try to involve themselves with religion, there's something called religious activism, right? They try to take part, let's say with the MSAs. Has anyone been to the rally in New York for say Palestine, or any of the Palestine rallies? Yeah, I've been to one of those, and I've seen that one of the slogans, a lot of people, I attended one in Brooklyn, and a lot of people attended. And one of the slogans was for saving Masjid al-Aqsa. What is a mosque? What purpose does a mosque serve? It's made to serve only one purpose, which is prayer. Which you pray to God, you do zikr, right? Every person that took part in that slogan, everyone, almost everyone, missed their Asr and their Maghrib while they're protesting to save a mosque. So the key point here is that you could take yourself, you could easily get guided by religious activism, but you need to know that the foundation is knowledge. You have knowledge of what your religion is and what it asks you, just so that you know. These people might be thinking that, okay, I'm doing something for my religion, I'm standing up for my end goal, but what they don't know is that is taking them away from their end goal, just because they're lacking that part where knowledge comes in. So you need to, as long as you invest your time into it, you want to make sure that you invest your time properly, and you want to invest it in the right direction, so you can add to your goals. And with that, I conclude. If